And the Chief Minister has had what Number 6 has described as a useful conversation with the President of the Council of the EU. Joseph Muscat is Malta's Prime Minister, with Malta holding the presidency of the Council. Although no details have emerged, GBC understands they discussed matters related to the UK's exit from the European Union. Well, the Chief Minister has certainly had a busy day with a frenzy of media interviews. Mr Picardo, first of all, interesting conversation with Mr Muscat, a fellow socialist?
Yes, indeed.
Can you perhaps elaborate?
No, I'm afraid I can't. That's a conversation which we've held. It's going to remain confidential, but of course Joseph holds the presidency of the council at the moment, and I think it's important that he has agreed to speak to me on the subject. It's somebody I've known for some time, and let's just say that it is important that we have the conversation.
Perhaps you can reveal some details about your conversation with the Prime Minister, Theresa May, yesterday.
Well, the Prime Minister, I think, herself has said that we had a conversation which related to the subjects which have become relevant in the past 96 hours. She was very clear to me that we're going to continue to be able to work together in a transparent way that is designed to get the best possible Brexit deal for Gibraltar. And that means two things. It means the exit deal, and it means potentially any new trade deals that the United Kingdom may be able to do. And those are likely to be one in relation to customs and potentially another one in relation to services. That is not clear at the moment. It's very hypothetical. If there's a trade deal in goods, well, that's not relevant to Gibraltar. We won't want to play a part of that. What we have to avoid is that Spain should now have what I might best describe for your viewers in doing the analysis as a double veto. So Spain, with all the other parliaments of the European Union, not just the central parliaments in some instances, in some member states of the European Union, some of the regional parliaments will also be relevant according to the constitutional makeup of each member state. They will have a veto on any new deal that the United Kingdom may do in respect of that main deal. What Spain is looking for is a double veto in relation to Gibraltar. So she has the right to consider the terms of the deal that the United Kingdom may finalise with the Council.
And anything that applies to Gibraltar?
Without Gibraltar being relevant. So she can approve that if she has a veto, without having to block it because of Gibraltar. Then the Gibraltar discussions would take place, and she can agree or disagree depending on whether or not she is happy. And we know that there is only one thing that will make Spain happy in all of the agreements which relate to the European Union before.
Sovereignty.
The Brussels Agreement and the Airport Agreement, they've all turned on the issue of sovereignty. So what we have to stop is that Spain should have this double veto. Now, people need to understand the guidelines are not the United Kingdom's document. They are the document.
Fine, but has she committed herself to fighting that clause which has angered so many people in Gibraltar?
Hang on a minute, not the clause. That's what's important. The clause is up to the European Union. It's a shopping list. The European Union will turn up with a shopping list they will give Mr Barnier once they've agreed it, and Mr Barnier turns up to the negotiations with that shopping list to try and achieve them. So it's not about the Prime Minister challenging the shopping list. It's about what the Prime Minister does in the context of the negotiation when Mr Barnier turns up with the shopping list, such as it may be. And the commitment is clearly to get the best possible deal for Gibraltar in the context of that negotiation. And that must mean, because that is the position of the government of Gibraltar, not accepting any discriminatory treatment in relation to Gibraltar, because it gives Spain this double header of a veto. It allows Spain to block Gibraltar forever without having any repercussions on itself or the rest of the European Union. That is what would demonstrate that Spain is being intransigent because of Gibraltar, not to be able to park the issue separately in a way that affects no one else.
A lot of temperature escalation over the last few days. Michael Howard mentions the war only once. Did he get away with it?
Well, I think that he mentioned the war in the context of figuratively trying to explain to people in the United Kingdom how passionately the government of the United Kingdom, made up of Conservatives now, will be when it comes to defending Gibraltar. I think that passion extends across the House of Commons, although people would express it in different ways. The Labour Party has expressed support for Gibraltar, but not expressed it in the terms that Mr Howard has expressed it, so have the Liberals. So I would say it's figurative language that perhaps some commentators have run away and put in a headline in a way that doesn't actually describe what the man said. But he's a champion of Gibraltar. He was here in 2002 defending us against joint sovereignty. So I would rather Michael Howard and his figurative language than some of the other actors who were relevant in 2002 who had something to say.
Chief Minister, thank you very much for joining us once again on Newswatch.